Hello you, welcome to the last Digging Up Positivity of the season, and trust me, we are ending with a bang, or shall we say squeak, with the mother of the Dutch angel dragons, the matriarch herself, Telephone. And we are also having more charity news, animation, creativity and much more, and I just can't wait to show you all the things. But first, the charities. The go-to convention in Mexico, Confuror has raised a whopping $13,980.36 for Nutrias de Mexico, an initiative that seeks the conservation of otter populations in Mexico, since those lovely creatures regulate the fish population and they look mighty cute while doing it. In Taiwan, the lovely visitors of Infurnity raised $12,137.22 for two charities: the Raptor Research Group of Taiwan, a group dedicated to the birds of prey in Taiwan, and the Lemon Wildlife Rehabilitation and Conservation Association, a group dedicated to the wildlife in the Kinmen region in Taiwan. And they had a Dutch guest of honor who brought two friends, Wolvinny, Strawberry and Carbine, who got to celebrate his birthday at the convention. The critters from AquatiFur raised $6,000 for the Feathered Friends Sanctuary and Rescue, an organization that for nearly 20 years has been providing a safe haven for homeless parrots living in captivity and so much more, supporting those lovely feathered friends. All the way down in Reno, the amazing critters from Biggest Little Furcamp did not disappoint. A fan favorite amongst Furcamps, they put their paws together and raised $28,069.69 together for the Safe Haven Wildlife Sanctuary, known for their big cats, but also they offer sanctuary for other animals as well, giving them a chance to rehabilitate despite them being unable to be placed back in the wild. In California, Team Tony, under the watchful eye of Joey G. Bear, raised $8,507 for the fight against ALS, continuing Tony's legacy. They were with 6 fursuiters, and a big shout out to Whiskey Foxtrot and Mossdog for helping Joe with this amazing result. The wonderful critters for Furs for Life raised $10,221 during their marathon for Extra Life, and their donation incentives were so much fun, including a meerkat hat. I squealed a little bit when I saw that. The lovely critters from Worldwide Furcamp have raised $1,460 for the YMCA Camp Campbell Guard. This money will be used towards scholarships for kids who face difficult times and for them to go to camp for free for 7 days, giving them that well-deserved break and a moment of rest. The ever so speedy critters from Team FastestFurs raised $16,186 during their awesome Fall Fest dedicated to Trans Lifeline. A most amazing result of 54 speedrunners teaming up, and of course their lovely audiences. Azu LGA, I hope I pronounce it right, is a very lovely birdie artist who has a cat named Bunny. They go way back, but unfortunately, Bunny needs eye surgery, and of course, LJ could not let his beloved furry friend down, and neither did his supporters. At the time of writing, $3,200 has been raised for Bunny, and she is going to have surgery soon. We're rooting to the both of you. Back in the days, the Irish immigrants on the other side of the big pond often thought of home, especially during the long holiday nights, and many found rejoice in the Holly Bough, a long-lasting tradition from the Irish city of Cork. Nobody really knows when the first issue was released. The oldest known issue is from Ottawa in Canada and comes with the following mission statement. And as the Holly Bough shakes its bright leaves and flutters its gay adornments and looks up in its novel dressing, it seems to say, "My masters, I will play my part in the merrymaking of the season, with quip and jest and storytelling, and make the time pass quickly, pleasantly, well." Now, one might ask, what does this have to do with furries at all? Well, this year they are featuring the Merry Bunch from AnthroIrish, who raised $457.26 for the Irish blood transfusion services back in August. Often when describing furries or furry characters, people use the term anthropomorphic or anthro. I mean, look at Anthrocom. Now, a lot of people think this only means animals, but it also applies to machines, like cars, or in this case, locomotives. We had classics like the Little Engine That Could and Thomas the Tank Engine, and recently Andrew Chesworth made a lovely animation that's a homage to the 40s Old West themed musical cartoons. And the result is truly lovely. It's about a fearless little train and his engineer facing obsolescence when a bigger and faster train is introduced. And now for the last featurette of this very year, this 7th season, but certainly not the least. Welcome to Digging Up Positivity telephone, and it's a very big honor to have you around with us on the show. Well, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So much, I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. So I'm Eno, or Deanna, creator of the species Dutch Angel Dragons. I'm also a fursuit maker of 18 years. So I've been doing that for a while. I'm self-employed artist and have been since I was a kid. So I'm loving every day of it.
Wow, you're definitely an angel of many talents. But how did it all start? How did you get to know of the fandom?
So the way that I found the fandom and everything is actually through my brother. Back in the day I used to cosplay, so I'd make my own cosplays, and I was working on a cosplay from Naruto. It was the fox, the nine-tailed fox from the show, and my brother comes in because I'm making the mask for it, right? I'm like, I gotta make like a cool mask for it and everything. And he looks at me, he's like, "Are you a furry?" I'm like, "No, what's that?" And he's like, "Oh, thank gosh. There are these horrible people and all this stuff." And, you know, all the rumors that you hear about the fandom. And I was like, "Oh, God, no, I'm not a furry." And then, you know, I kept thinking about it for a few days. I'm like, is he messing with me? Like, was he just making something up? And I actually ended up, you know, going online, looking up what a furry is, and then finding out that it's like, I am a furry. Like, oh my gosh, like the costumes and the art was exactly up my alley, and I liked it. So, yeah, that's how I found it.
Oh, you're like, when it comes down to guests, you're one of the many that started out being skeptical about the furry fandom, or it's so funny to see that quite a lot of people that start out hating the furry fandom, consuming a lot of furry material, end up being big furries themselves.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah. It's one of those things. I don't feel like I ever hated it. I was just like, what I was told, and the first few days I ever heard about it, I was like, man, that's really weird. oh, that's scary and whatever, and then you find a good article and then you're like, oh, it's not that. Okay. So yeah.
And this kind of shows that you kept an open mind and you ended up being this amazing figure in the furry fandom. But that brings me that people know you as Telephone. That's a very unusual name.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
But what's the story behind Telephone?
So, believe it or not, so when it came to Telephone, her name was not supposed to be that. When I created the character, I had a dream and everything. I was like, oh, I gotta draw this character, but I didn't know what to call it. So, just an inside joke between me and a friend, we're like, let's just call her Telephone, and it stuck. So. Yeah, I mean, here she is now, and still the same name. Never came up with an actual one.
The name is truly unique and really stands out. And Telephone is a Dutch angel dragon, and that is one of the species that you created, and it became such a huge fandom within the fandom itself. Can you tell us a little bit about the Dutch angel dragons?
Yeah. So Dutch angel dragons, again, never thought it would come to like where it is now. It was an obsession of mine. I've always drawn like these horse dragons as a kid, and as I got older, obviously, Telephone came from it, and the way that it started is people started seeing videos of Telephone, like, hey, can I make a species or a character off of her species? And I was like, yeah, sure. And there was so much interest that continued to build, so that's when I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll make my own species, and here we are, years and years later, and it's still going strong, and people have a lot of fun with it, and that's all that I care about is people enjoying it, so... Yeah, wow. It's been a long road.
And you definitely established something that has a long-lasting impact and changed so many lives for the better. But when it comes down to the Dutch angel dragon community, what do you think its main appeal is towards all the fans and all the Dutch angel dragons out there?
Question. So I personally feel like it's a lot of people have told me they like it because it's a cute species. A lot of people do like dragons and they like horses, or they like the lore. I mean, it's a whole, I guess, bucket of different things that keep people interested or get them interested in the first place. So there's multiple different reasons. So yeah.
All right. And which brings me to that part. I've heard that Dutch, initially I thought it was that you were from the Netherlands, because Dutch people are from the Netherlands, but Dutch is is related to your horse, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Dutch was my first horse that I had as a kid. Unfortunately, he tragically passed away early, but his name was Dutch, or full name Dutchman's Gold. He's a beautiful Palomino, meant a lot to me, and that's kind of where the name Dutch comes from in Dutch Angel Dragon. So,
well, and Dutch now is such a legacy within the furry fandom. I wouldn't be able to come with something better to honor that lovely, wonderful, majestic horse. And
thank you.
You're welcome. But with all this, you've been in the fandom for a long time. You've been making fursuits. What is your favorite moment, or what has your favorite moment been in the fandom so far?
So many moments. It's hard to choose because I mean, there's been so many incredible parts in my life in the fandom, but I think one of my favorites is my husband proposing to me on stage at a FurCon.
Oh wow! That which convention was that, if I may ask?
It was MFF. I believe 2015. It's been a long time. I'd have to. But I don't have a good memory, so.
No worries. Well, that certainly is like a core memory, something to never forget. But with your experience in the fandom and that you established all these things, do you have any recommendation for people that just joined the fandom?
Any recommendations? I would say, especially like just get out there. People are friendly. Like, there's so many different interests in the fandom itself. Mm-hmm. Reach out. There's plenty of communities and groups to be a part of. And, just be kind and courteous to other people.
It is so deceptively simple, but it is very effective. And yeah, thank you very much for your lovely insight for that. And I would like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule for this interview. And I hope to see you around in the Dutch Angel Dragon community, since, well, I am around there as well as a helping hand with one of the Wranglers themselves remix the Dutch Angel Dragon. So have a wonderful day and have a good one.
Thank you, you too. See you later.
All right, bye-bye. A big thank you for staying with us till the very end of the last episode of the 7th season. As per tradition, the December video is the Furry Charity Index, and the first episode of season 8 will be in January, where our featurette will be a certain fox. Or are they a shark? Well, sometimes science just can't explain things, right? But for now, a special thanks for the following people. From Subscribestar, we have Hanzana, Manic, Cosmic with a K, Taros and Scorechaser. From Patreon, we have Tantru McNally, Ishnula and Els Dekker. And from YouTube, we have Longtooth. Thank you very much. And of course, we have our current subscribers at Twitch. We are Tatron the Dragon, Drohan, Falconeo, Hanzana, Light Nympha, Jake R, Svex the Mischievous Fox, and Aijabu Yin. But also a big shout out to my friends at Global Furry Television for not just being awesome, but also for pooling resources. That was a lovely list of names, thank you very much. But now for the big moment. Who is going to have that squishy meerkat pillow? Well, drumroll please. Edward Hertz. Thank you very much. Please do contact me this year. Well, that sounds very long, but really it is not. So we can verify your details, and hopefully I can send it fast enough for you that it will end up in your paws before Christmas. But please, with the current state of the worldwide mail, I cannot make any promises. Thank you all for your love and support. Remember, you are loved and you deserve all the hugs.